Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, spend maybe the next 90 minutes with me. Minute IPA is a 9% Imperial IPA from Dogfish Head Brewery in Milton, Delaware. I've actually tried very few beers out of Dogfish Head, and incidentally, Minute IPA is one of the few that I've had. And the last time I had it, it was at Disney World's Epcot Center of all places when I was drinking around the world. But as with most things that happen when you're drinking around the world, I don't really remember much of it other than the fact that I've had one. So let's just get the anticipation over with. We'll take a look at the label and then we'll get it into a glass. But first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Eric Latowski, Brian Kramer, and Zach for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.com/draft_therapy, where you can get early access to these videos, exclusive members-only live streams, and a few other special perks available only to patrons. It's exclusive to patrons. So let's take a look at the label here. They just recently redesigned this, or at least I think that they have. It may have been a little while, but anyways, it has the Dogfish Head symbol, the shark, and it says Dogfish Head 90-minute Imperial IPA, our continually hopped Imperial IPA whose powerful malt backbone stands up to the extreme hopping rate for a pungent, not crushing hop flavor. It's an ale, it's 9% alcohol by volume, it's 12 fluid ounces, and it's got this cool kind of cartoony look to it. It's got a picture of a guy with a timer on his head. It's up to 90 minutes. It's like an alarm clock. He looks like he is under some extreme duress. One of his eyes is like half closed. He's got some nails either coming out or going into his mouth. His teeth are all broken up and a bunch of hops are being dropped on him. And then it has the Dogfish Head address at Milton, Delaware. It says brewed and bottled by Dogfish Head Craft Brewery in Milton, Delaware, and then some other information on it. There is no back label, and then on the other side it says government warning, and you know all that stuff. Lots of hops coming off of that label. So let's go ahead and use an IPA glass, which I believe Dogfish Head Sam had a hand in creating this glass, so we're going to honor it. It's got a red Dogfish Head cap on the top. The bottled information here, and I think it's just best by August 2021. I don't think there's an actual brewed on date or a bottled date. Go ahead and put a nose on it. I almost poured it without putting a nose on it. Where am I? It smells very hoppy. Has a nice malty aroma too, though. It smells a bit, I want to say it's a bit of a piney hoppiness, but it has a nice malty sweet aroma. Let's go ahead and pour this. Coming out pretty clear. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this clear, but it is collecting a little darker in the glass there. Lots of bubbles coming up from the bottom. And a really nice head on that. I'm saying that's about 3 fingers of head on this glass. Again, this glass is made almost to have a maximum amount of head. It has really nice compact bubbles. As you can see from the top, that almost looks solid. It just has a little bit of a waviness to it, but the top looks super dense. There's a little bit of a cross cut here, a little bit larger bubbles here. Let's hold it up to the light. That is really clear. I mean, that's like, you can probably see me, my inverted reflection, or not a reflection, but you can see me through there inverted. Who knows what's going on? But yeah, it's pretty clear. And a little bit of condensation on the outside. Let's put a nose on it. Yeah, getting a little bit more of a malty aroma. I'm not getting so much of any kind of hoppiness, but I'm getting a sweet malty aroma out of this beer. Let's go ahead and give it a shot down the hatch. Cheers. It's got a surprising amount of malt sweetness. The mouthfeel is it's a little bit lighter than medium. It's not quite crisp and light, but it is on the light side, but it's not super crisp. The flavor, it comes through really sweet, and I don't taste, like, as much as I would expect the bitterness to be in this beer. It's not overly bitter. It has a nice, pleasing bitterness to it, but it also has, as it says on the label, this one definitely, you know, I'm sure it's consistent from batch to batch to batch. I don't think you're probably going to find a beer that's from Dogfish Head that's inconsistent batch to batch to batch, but from what I can taste, it tastes like a really nice malt sweetness. I love malty IPAs. You know, call me crazy, but I consider that to be like a Midwest IPA style, and maybe that's because I think of Two Hearted when I think of malty IPAs, but this one has a lot of malt sweetness to it, and I really like it. It does remind me of Two Hearted in a slight way. I feel like It's definitely its own beer though. A lot of malt sweetness, a little bit of a, I want to say like a piney resinous quality to it, a bit of a, you know, a little bit of a piney resinous hoppy bitterness to it, but it also has a little touch of a citrus bitterness to it as well. I don't get many earthy notes, but I'm getting a lot of piney, a little bit of citrus. And I think the malt sweetness kind of lends to getting a little bit of that citrus hoppiness, even if that's not like totally in the forefront there. 9%. I don't get the 9% at all. I mean, I feel like this is an IPA that I could sit back and just drink, you know, one, I don't want to say one after another, but I feel like I could drink multiple of these. I feel like I'd get, you know, into a bad way having too many and not really, because I'm not putting 9% on the flavor that I'm getting out of this. I'm not getting any kind of boozy quality out of it. It's not like screaming in your face, you know, hey, 9%. So, and again, 9% these days is fairly high, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that this beer is really dangerous. I think it probably has a bit of a reputation that you know, that precedes it, but, you know, I think this could be really dangerous if you sat down with this and didn't know that it was 9%, had a couple drinks of it, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a nice, you know, this is a nice IPA on a hot day, and you just kind of get in the flow of it. You could lose yourself pretty quickly with some of these. But yeah, I like that it has that malty character to it. It has this nice sweet quality to it, but it also has just a really nice balanced bitterness to it. It's not like sometimes with IPAs when you take a drink after the fact, you know, while especially I see it when I'm talking about IPAs, really bitter beers, you know, you can get like that bitterness on your tongue that just sits there and it just kind of hangs on. And there is a bitterness to this, but it's not overly bitter. It's not something where it's like, you know, I feel like I need to take a drink of water because the bitterness, the hoppiness is just too much. So that's a compliment. I mean, if you can get that nice malty sweet character, you can get that piney bitterness, that hoppy bitterness character to it as well. But you're not crushing either side, you know, with it being like way too bitter or way too sweet and way too malty, but it just, they work in harmony together and it just makes a really great flavor that at the beginning you get this nice malty sweetness and at the end you get this nice resinous bitter characteristic. But again, it's not too overpowering, but it's just enough that it makes you want to take another drink. And I feel like that's probably what they were going for. All right, friends, that has been 90-Minute IPA from Dogfish Head. Have you had this beer before? I'm guessing you probably have. So if it's not your favorite, do you have a favorite from Dogfish Head that you think I should try? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell because I'm here talking about beer twice a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's all for free for viewers just like you, and you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries. These guys are in Milton, Delaware. And until next time, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Cheers.